Bezrat Hashem. Well, we might meet even before
What about
2 weeks.
Sunday or Thursday or Wednesday night or?
We could. You could reschedule. Just on a time, so I can't teach. What else, Roshi? Okay, so we're learning today from. This is one of my favorite teachings. It's just pure teaching. No. It's like pure teaching, pure learning. Let's just learn. It'll clear our heads up from all of the stuff that's going on. So it's from the Ishbitz Rebbe. In the Ishbitz Rebbe, Parshas Tetzaveh, on the Choshen, the stones of the Choshen, and what the colors mean. So remember last year, we learned this a little bit, Golda, and you showed everybody your Choshen that you had. Is that what you lost? Yeah. Okay, so
I have one over there too.
You have one over there, okay. So this is in memory of your Choshen. And it should be a nechama for your, whatever that is, whatever it was that you lost. Okay, colors have power, and we're on the day of the elections, which is why we need to learn something, just completely get your brain out of the elections and out of current events. Because once you start me on current events, that's it. So maybe at the end.
Maybe?
Huh?
At the end, maybe.
Maybe at the end for a few minutes. So first of all, Baruch Baruch Yecholim to Golda. We had to have 2 weeks not here because Golda wasn't feeling well. She supported the whole Eretz Yisrael on her shoulders by catching the flu or whatever that was. And now everybody's Yosazayim. The Choshen, the Kohen Gadol. So if you look on the page, the source sheet that I gave you, the Devar Torah right before it, which is on page Peitzet, the page on the left side, and you see the first Devar Torah says Ve'ela habegadim asher yasu Choshen ve'efod v'nil v'ktonis mashpeitz, right? See all those begadim? So those 8 begadim, those 8 articles of clothing that the Kohen Gadol wore, the Ishbitz Rebbe is going to say, which I'm going to leave this to you to learn on your own. He's going to say that each one of these 8 articles of clothing is parallel the 8 words that we say in before Kriya Shema Shel Shacharis. The Temli Beinu Bina Lahavin Lahaski Lishmo Lilmod Lamed Lishmo Lasas L'Kayim. 8 different words that we say in the davening before Shema in the morning, and each of these words, the Temli Beinu, we're asking Hashem Lahavin Lahaskil. So each of these is a little bit different. Well, your phone, your what's it called? It's such cute dancing.
That's just for one person.
That's one person, right?
Sorry.
So all of the clothings, the 8 articles of clothing that the Kohen Gadol put on, as he put on each one, a different energy was given to the Jewish people to either have hear her tshuva from yeah, hear her tshuva, or he would have a specific his orus, an elevation for learning Torah or for doing tshuva from the 3 main averos of idolatry, murder, and adultery. And it will also help him to have an ayin tova. You'll read that, it's not hard words, you'll read that on your own. But the Choshen, when he put on the Choshen, so he put that here on his chest. And the Choshen had in it specific things, right? It had the Urim V'Tumim stuck in, right? There was like a pocket. How was the Choshen? I didn't bring, you have the Mishkan book here?
I do.
You do? Okay, so we could look at it. And so the Choshen had in it a little pocket. I'm sorry that I made you get up, Golda. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing.
Just let me know.
I'm
Isn't
apologizing.
it exciting to be out of bed?
Yeah, but it's also tiring.
Oh, I never saw this. Wow.
It's a newer one. It's not the old-fashioned one.
It's a newer one. Oh, how
Flexible
beautiful.
version.
Yeah. How absolutely beautiful.
It's like computer
Generated. Wow. Wow. This is actually beautiful, beautiful, and it's much easier.
You know there's a 3D online visit,
Yeah,
Tanishka.
yeah. So,
Wow.
let me see how to show it to you. Okay, I know they do it without heads, so it's like a little bit weird. First I'll show the camera. Okay, so now here's the Choshen. Beautiful, right? They actually got some of the colors correct on this one. This Choshen was the stones were set into a tapestry, an embroidery, that had a pocket in that was like, not right, it was two-sided, and you had like a pocket inside. Inside the pocket, inside here, was the Urim V'Tumim, was
You
the
don't
name
show
of
that in the
Hashem.
next page?
I'll see, let me see. I started looking at this book. I like it. Wow. They show the Choshen. Cool. They don't show, let's see. Oh, that's so cute. They show that, they don't show the, let's see, the A4, let's see. It's funny, they have the Choshen on each one. This is really, really beautifully made. They show how you embroider. Okay. Look, these two, they're showing you these two stones. That was on the shoulders, right? And that had all the names of the tribes, right? Including Yosef and Binyamin. Now we're going to see that in this one, right, and the one with all the colors, Yosef and Binyamin, Yosef comes into Ephraim and Menashe because Levi doesn't get one. But in this one, on the shoulders, they put the stone into a holder on the shoulders, and there.
How do they stay in?
That's a good question.
The other question is,
How did anything stay in?
how much does it weigh? I mean, all the stones.
Well, you see how they drew it.
Heavy?
They drew it at an angle,
Right. What's gonna hold?
and this is an angle, so maybe it was a drop bigger. Then they pushed it in. Okay, and let's see if they have it. Yefe. Right. Oh, everybody gets one of these? How do you have this?
It's my picture from Chaim Ari's bar mitzvah.
How sweet is that? So I see that you're really connected to the
Very.
Choshen. Wow. Okay, here's how you see how they made a fold, how they made like a pocket.
That's what I was.
Here's the pocket, and inside the pocket. So onto here was this, right? And inside the pocket was the name of Hashem, the special name of Hashem. Now here, and wait, and then here I see that they do not, just like in the Art Scroll Chumash. This is an Art Scroll thing, book.
Yeah.
Because in the Art Scroll Chumash, they also do not translate the words. They just write the names of the stones, Odem, Pitidal, Bareket. But Rav Aryeh Kaplan does translate them. So,
I don't mean to argue with my teacher, but it does Levi and Yosef are in here.
yeah, Levi is here. And Yosef, one second. Degel Machane Ephraim.
I mean, according to my bench and according to that picture, Yosef and Levi appearing.
One second. You're right, Yosef. Sorry,
Yosef
thank
is a
you.
Shoham.
Thank you.
is a
Yosef
Shoham.
is a Shoham, that's right. That's right. That's right, you're right. Okay, and actually he has the colors here that he chooses to use, these colors. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, in his translation, has for each stone, he has 3 different choices, or even sometimes 5. I don't want to make you to get up. You have the Aryeh Kaplan Chumash here?
I don't.
You don't, okay. So,
You mean the purple one?
yeah,
I do.
okay.
Tell me where. Tell me
I think it's
where
in
it
the
is.
back of the.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He has so many. He goes through, I think, 5 different sources of the different possibilities of the
For which one?
Aryeh Kaplan for all of the colors of the
all the
stones
colors?
and the names of the English names of the stones. So anyway, I'm gonna just do the. I'm gonna have to look at this later because I can look at this like for hours. I'm gonna just do what the Ishbitz Rebbe here says. Okay, we're gonna learn his teaching, And that's an interesting teaching on the names of the stones and some of the colors and some of their, let me see. Back
Doesn't Rabbeinu Bechai also have a whole list?
Who?
Rabbeinu Bechai?
So there's the Medrash. Rabbi Kaplan brings down, I think, 5 sources. The Radak, he brings down the Medrash, the Gemara, I guess Rashi. I'm just, if you want, I'll get up and I'll look at his thing, and I'll tell you all his different sources. But what I did was I tried to collate like the source that seems to be the most representative of all of them. Okay.
Why would it be so unclear?
Well, because the only one that's really clear is an Odem.
But then why didn't the Chumash say what it was?
Why doesn't the Chumash say about those animals that we have those weird names of the animals and you can't eat this and you can't eat that? That's why you only eat chicken. Because we don't know the names of all of those. Even the Gemara, sometimes and the Gemara is, much more contemporary, so, uses all kinds of words that we don't know what the meanings of them are. Okay, so let's just do the first row. Odem hu neged shevet Shim Reuven. So you see on the bottom of page test on the very, very last line. Odem, the ruby, hu neged shevet Shimon. That's parallel to the tribe of Shimon. Ki Adom hu gavan, turn the page. Simcha. What did I say? Did I just say Shimon? I don't know, there's Bibi calling me again.
I said Shimon.
I said Shimon?
Yeah.
Sorry. Odem hu neged shevet Reuven. The Odem stone it was a stone of the tribe of Reuven. Ki Adom hu gavan simcha. Because red is the color of simcha. Well, wait a minute. Reuven nikra al shem Re'iyah. Reuven's name is I see. Right? Leah said, now see between let him see my son, right? So remember what that meant? See the difference between my Bechor and my father-in-law's Bechor. See the greatness of my own son who will give up his Bechor he'll give up his position to do the right thing. V'hamevin yavin. Ki b'chol inyanav udvarav ro'eh tamid nichacho et Hashem. Why was Reuven happy? Because he was like you, Golda. Whenever whatever happened to him, he just saw Hashem. Hashem yitbarach me'ir einav, and because he was always looking to see the hashgacha, the Hashem's divine intervention, because of that Hashem enlightens his eyes. Umizeh ba godel hasimcha le'adam, and this is where a person has the greatest simcha. Kemo shekatzuv me'or einayim yisamach lev. It says in Mishlei that if a person's eyes are open, then they're happy. What does that mean? So it's a hard thing for us to do, because even though we know in our brain that everything is hashgacha, and we know in our brain that everything is for a good reason, but we don't feel it in our heart. And because of that, the re'iyah, the seeing, doesn't penetrate into the deepest parts of us. But when it does, then it makes us happy. So the very famous story that I tell about this, hashgacha pratis, is some guy had a dream, and in his dream he sees that the Malach HaMavos is coming to him and says, it's time for you to go. And the man says, I can't go yet, I have a wife and kids, I have to support them. So the Malach HaMavos says, all right, I can make you poverty-stricken. And the man says, that doesn't help me, I have to support my family. And the man said, Malach HaMavos says, listen, I could also make you sick. And each of these things is like you're dead. I can make you blind. All these things are like you're dead. And each one the man says in his dream, he says, he argues, I can't hold much my points, I can't fulfill my obligations in this world. So finally Malach HaMavos says, there's only one more thing that's equivalent to death, and that's embarrassment. And the man says, I'll take it, and he wakes up. So then he goes to school, he goes to work the next day, and he's the owner of this fancy restaurant in Manhattan. I told you this story like a million times, right? And the fancy restaurant in Manhattan, and he goes in, and he's in his office, and it's like, he hears a commotion in the front, and some lady, an older lady with a savta agala, how do you say that in English? Like a shopping cart, right? A bubby cart. and she's in the front of the office, and she's screaming and yelling, and he goes to see what's going on. So he has a fancy restaurant, and she says to him, you crooks, you thieves, you got me sick. And he says, madam, can I help you? I'm the owner. She says, you're the owner? And she starts calling him all these names. Why? Because she bought yesterday from him potato salad, and it got spoiled, and now she lost the money, and she has a stomachache, and now she has nothing to eat. And meanwhile, it's a fancy uptown restaurant. They don't sell potato salad takeout. She mixed it up, his restaurant, with the deli down the block. And what does she do? She takes the potato salad and she throws it at him, and it gets all over she dumps it on him. It's all over his head and his $300 suit. Is $300 maybe even expensive for it? Maybe it's cheap. Maybe it's $1,000. Cheap. I don't even know.
$1,500.
I left America a long time ago. I don't remember the prices.
Exactly, $300.
So it's just dripping down his $10,000 suit and on his $15 million shoes. Wait, she needs to. So, and instead of being horrified, and everybody's like, oh, he's screaming and yelling at this lady, and he's the happiest person in the world because now his dream was fulfilled, and he got public. He
was forewarned, though.
He was forewarned. He got public humiliation, but no, people don't take dreams so seriously. But he got public humiliation, and now he's he can go on with his life and be happy. So if we would, you're right. If we would get forewarned is forearmed, whatever it is. If we really integrate it, we would be happy. Now, the color red, so we know that it says in the Gemara that women shouldn't wear red in public, right? What is that? So the Gemara says that in the times of the Gemara, no one had, in order to have colored garments, you had to either be very, very wealthy, because most people made their own homespun fabrics. Like the Gemara says that, comparing us to, let's say, Adam Harishon. What did Adam Harishon do before he ate a piece of bread? He had to plant, and he had to reap, and he had to divide it up, and he had a million different steps till he was able to eat a piece of bread. And until he got clothing, he had to take the sheep and shear them and clean it and thread it and spin it and cut it until he made a garment. And we have everything ready for us. That's the global, because everybody helps everybody else. Some people do that for a living, and they make lots and lots of bolts of clothing, etc. That's where Rabbi Yoel Schwartz says one of the reasons that we should be davening for this coronavirus, especially for the people in China, is because he said people ask him a shayla, how do you daven for Ovdei Avodah Zarah or atheists? And he said because we're all in this, because the economy became a world global economy, so therefore they're not just personally, it's not just a personal suffering that they're suffering, but it's also a suffering of the planet, and a Jew is obligated to daven for the entire planet.
90% of medication comes from China.
90% of medication comes from China. In general, we're adish. How do you say adish? Indifferent to, everybody has their own stuff. And it's, and every country has their own stuff. So, but he was talking about that, it has to be, we have to really daven. And he said this idea that because, like the Gemara says, everybody manufactures stuff for everybody else. So we're all really business partners. Everybody's business partners.
In terms of the atheism, they were shmotted just like, the Russian Jews were shmotted. I mean, everybody's just been brainwashed and dictated to that it's not their fault. Yeah, it's a question of the atheism, even though now there's a big question of atheism now and the internet, because now that everything's on the internet, even though we all know that we only watch the internet stations that we agree with to begin with. Like nobody has nobody's reading nobody puts on their Twitter account opinions that they don't like, that they don't resonate with. That's why it's like a self-propelling, a self-perpetuating hashkafa, because everybody just listens to who they want to listen to. So if we would read the things like what Mishpacha magazine did last week, I borrowed it from my neighbor who works in Mishpacha. They wrote a whole thing on Bernie Sanders. People should know what he stands for, because even though the other guy won yesterday in whatever election they were having, like a small little delegate, but he has a hashkafa that he hasn't left for 30 years.
his hashkafa. So people should know at least what it is and people should know why other people are attracted to him. You would think, wouldn't the world understand how ridiculous it is? But they explained why people are attracted to him. And of course, the reason why people are attracted to him oftentimes is a shallow way of thinking. You get everything for free. Where's it going to come from? It's going to come from another pocket. Which pocket? Oh, we don't talk about that.
You know, Nancy hasn't answered the question.
So, okay, anyway, why don't women wear red? Because in olden days, they had to work very hard to get a red dye into the garments. Only either very rich people wore it, or people who wanted to stand out, because most people's garments were a dull color. Nowadays we know it because we're able to measure colors on the spectrum. We're able to see that red is a very high vibrancy, high frequency color, and we know that kids who are ADD get stimulated by the color red. So it's really, what I would say, is a high energy color. And it energizes a person when they really feel that Hashem is taking care of them and that everything's for the best, as opposed to depressing a person. When does a person feel chaser onim, we have no koyach? When we feel like we've been abandoned and ignored and Hashem is indifferent or whatever, any of those things deplete us. And any of the energizers is when we're having the right hashkafa. Who's coughing in the back?
My daughter.
She's sick. She has now what you had?
No, she's a little bit sick, but there's no school today because of the record. We both there.
Right, so she wouldn't have gone to school, has she, if she was...
She's been going to school every day.
She went to school, okay. So Reuven is red. It's the color of energizing. When you need to energize, look at the color red. The color, idea of color therapy, what's that? Your red eyeglasses?
Yeah.
So the color therapy exists. What is color therapy? Color therapy is, if you want to get a certain energy, just look at a certain color, focus on it. That's why Hashem made flowers. Why did Hashem make flowers but sparsely? He sprinkled the color red all over the world, not a lot, because we needed to look at temporarily when we needed to cheer up, right? When we need to see something beautiful. Kamara says that when you look at a beautiful, if you need to feel better, just look at a beautiful view, right? That's why you enjoy. That's because as Gemara said, now you know there's a makor. You can tell your husband next time. There's a makor for wanting to travel all over the place, because when you see beautiful vistas, beautiful views, it just makes you happy. It gives you energy. So that's the color red. That's Reuven. That's an Odem, and that's
blood is red.
That's energy.
I know, but
actually, blood is not really red. Remember, we all know that
purplish.
it's really not
it's
red.
Not
it's
negative
either,
unless it's outside of the body.
Right.
If it's in the body, it's
right.
pretty
it's
good.
not, right. And we don't even know what color blood is in the body, because as soon as you take it out of the body and it touches oxygen, it instantaneously changes to red. But when you look at your things here, you know, those are pretty. Those are blue.
But you can't
blues
tell
and
through the
purples.
skin either.
Right, you can't tell. So I wonder we know that when they take apart. I mean, I don't know. Did they ever make an experiment? Did anybody want to take out blood in a vacuum? Then your hand
When
has
a blood test, isn't it that dark?
It's a dark red.
right. But in that tube, for sure is oxygen in that tube. Yeah, it's just not as exposed as we are here. But of course, the second it gets out of the body, it turns color. So did they ever do it, like put a person in a vacuum and tell them hold your breath? And I will take out blood, see what color it is. I don't know. Maybe it is red. Maybe it is.
You know.
No, dam is red,
inside.
because the truth is that the liver is red, and the Gemara does say that dam is
Associate
red.
the
There's
heart with
three
red
colors
also.
in the body: red, yellow, green, and black. And red is one of them. So that is it is.
What's black?
Black is the tchol, is the spleen, I think. And also Mara Shchora, right? There's three colors in the spleen. There's green, there's something else, and there's black. That's the Mara Shchora, the black bile. There's green bile, there's black bile. I think there's yellow bile.
That's the reason why we don't wear red today.
Nowadays,
then
that's a good
was-
question. Thank you for bringing me back to practicality.
still
Nowadays,
can't
people
wear
are not. Nowadays,
I thought it was lust.
it was also a siman of a woman who was advertising that she's available. That's why the Scarlet Letter. Remember that book, The Scarlet Letter? Yeah. So it's so funny because I read that book when I was ninth grade and I didn't understand it. Like, what? I didn't get it until my friend said, "Hello, it was the priest." Anyway, so. It was an advertisement in those days. That's perhaps what Tamar put on. the color that she put on, because it was an advertisement of what you're like. Some women wear to work a business suit because they want to be business power people, and some women wear different things to work. But nowadays, the halacha nowadays, unless you're a Kabbalist, unless you learn, unless you live according to Kabbalah, women are not makpid on the color red nowadays.
I once wore a red scarf to a wedding, and I
Right, so it depends.
clobbered.
It was the wrong wedding.
It depends. So it depends. In the Chassidish world, you don't wear red, and in
Don't anybody
the
besides
no.
black.
But it's very eye catching.
Okay, so you're right. So it depends on what it is. It depends on how you accent it. It depends on what, It depends on a lot of different things. It depends on how bright the red is. Right. It depends. You're wearing your red socks because you need warmth, because your feet need to be warm So red warms you up. It's definitely a stimulating color, and that's why, again, in schools that know this, they will only have primary colors sparsely in the classroom, but they'll put more blues and greens and purples to calm people down. Let's look at the next two colors, which he gets correct also here. Not that I could judge, but Pitza. Rav Aryeh Kaplan calls it a jade, and it's green, and they also have it as a jade and green for Shimon. And see, I don't understand how he does that, but okay, I'll show you in a second. Pitza hu neged Shevet Shimon. Okay, now Shevet Shimon gets bad rap in the world. Why? Because Shimon and Levi knocked out Shechem, and then Shimon. They don't get right because they are very passionate, and Shimon with what other mistakes did the tribe of Shimon make? Right, Shimon made lots of mistakes. The tribe of Shimon. So Levi, the tribe of Levi, gets mitigated because the Levium then in Mitzrayim became from one side to the other. They became super frum. But Shimon always gets bad rap. So therefore, Rashbi, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, so listen to this. So listen what he says. Ki b'shevet Shimon nimsa amkus gadol b'divrei Torah. Shimon is a very deep tribe. Shimon is the tribe in the months, according to the Sefer Yisirah, Shimon is the tribe of Av. Reuven is Tammuz. Right, Nisan Yasivan. Tammuz, Av, Elul, right. Reuven is Tammuz. Shimon is Av. Now the month of Av is, right, that's your month. That's a hard month, meaning until Mashiach comes. Once Mashiach comes, so Av becomes celebratory. As the name sounds, Av is like Abba, right? The Father, Hashem is taking care of us. Until then, Av is the month of Tisha B'Av. So it's a very deep tribe. But before Shimon can actualize their great potential, they have to go through lots and lots of clarifications, beirur, like borer, separations. They have to go through lots of nisyonot, a lot of tests, before their greatness comes out. So the first test they went through with Dinah, right? Did they pass that test? On a certain level, they passed it. On a certain level, they didn't pass it. So therefore, we have certain major personalities in Torah that are called Shimon. The first one is Rashbi. V'chein Rashbi, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, Ya'an ki haya mishevet Shimon. Now, the Ishbitz Rebbe tells us something interesting that I don't know. I didn't learn through the whole Zohar yet. So, yeah. So, but I don't know. I guess it says there that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai said about himself that he's Meshevet Shimon, unless the Ishbitz Rebbe just says that. Like, for example, the Bnei Yisachar book. So he was a Talmud of the Choshen of Lublin. His name was, I'm going to embarrass myself, I think I forgot his name because I was called Bnei Yisachar. Reb Nachum Chernobyl, maybe? That's who it was? No?
I don't think so.
Who's the Bnei Yisachar?
You want to look it up?
No, she doesn't have her phone with her. My phone's missing. Okay, it doesn't matter. So whatever it is, why did he call it Sefer Bnei Yisachar? Because the the
Which
Choshen of
one are you
Lublin,
talking about now?
the Choshen of
Which one
Lublin,
is-
I'm on this
Go.
one. The Choshen of Lublin called him, said that he's actually, his root of his soul is from Yisachar. That's why he wrote a book on the Zmanim, on the Chodashim, because Yisachar, we know, is, they knew the Yod-A, they knew how to do the, we'll see it in the next one, we get Yisachar, they knew how to do the calendar. Just write B'nai Yisachar author, and it will tell you. So now, Reb Shimon bar Yochanan ki haya mishevet Shimon ki yadua haya lo divrei Torah amukim kemo b'Moshe Rabbeinu lamishalom ve'al zeh romez pitida. So Moshe Rabbeinu said about that the entire Kabbalah came down till Reb Shimon bar Yochai. In other words, in every Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Kabbalah to Yehoshua. He gave the whole Torah to Yehoshua. Yehoshua revealed the revealed, and he concealed the concealed, and he taught it to his. The Dinner Rebbe, right?
The Dinner,
yeah,
right.
Dinner, thank
I was
you.
there by him. It was
you-
an amazingly beautiful
Yeah,
place.
yeah. The Tzvi Melchim was at dinner. Yeah, I'm. You would think that I would know who's who. I don't, except for Rabbi Nachman and his chevra.
Nobody knows they have a huge Haknesses Orchim complex there. School,
Dinner?
everything. And
Where
like
is
they're-
it? In
Southern
Poland?
Southern. They're trying to sell private houses that Hasidim should move there and start a kehillah. I know, it's sad, it's very sad.
Let them sell private houses here in Eretz Yisrael. Come here.
No, they want to be near the soon.
Okay, but please come here. All the tzaddikim are no longer, they're by their tzion's a little bit, but they're really all here. The neshamas are all here. It's a busha to Eretz Yisrael. Listen, if anybody from Zinav is listening to this, so buy land in Eretz Yisrael. Don't buy land in Poland.
It's cheaper.
I don't care if it's cheaper. You know, there's a lot of things that are cheaper in this world that you're not going to buy because
China, I know.
right? Okay, so Rav Shimon bar Yochai, he was very deep, but until his teachings came out, until it was understood, so he explained something fascinating. It's really interesting. The Alzera makes pitida. That's stone pitida. And what does your book say? What is it called? A topaz?
Topaz.
But it says in it that has Yirach rock. It should have a green. She didn't do it right, but
This is
it
very
says it
yellow.
should have a greenish tint to it.
What says?
The explanation under the stone in my face.
Topaz.
Um,
Yeah.
but did you talk about the color? No.
I didn't talk about it yet. Green. I said it's green.
But
It's green. Ve'alzer mes pizza ki hu otziot peh. Okay, so look at the word pizza and see how the Rebbe here pulls apart a word. Pizza is you asked before, like, why is it these weird names? Even though coming up soon is Sapir and Yahalom. See? This is, for those of you who are listening and you heard my phone ring, so we're in election day. And every 10 minutes, different election people call me to say, yeah, that's one.
they're not calling me.
You're not called. Well, you're not such. You're not.
Get them your number.
I get it at home all day long.
Pizza dog, pet,
Peh. Okay, peh. Hey. Now, what's tet and zalit?
Ted. TED Talk.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's
Do you
cute.
want some tea?
Okay, tet and zalit. Those two letters next to each other. I'm not telling you. Don't look yet. Think about the two letters. There's something about those two letters. There's something about them. Tes and zalit that go together. They almost make up a word, a holy word. Don't look at the letters themselves. Look at the letters in proximity to a place. Should I do the Jeopardy countdown number? No, don't look at the letters themselves. Look at the letters in relative to the aleph base. Okay, there's the. You'll get it then.
9 and 4.
Okay, 9 and 4.
Yod and Hey.
Exactly, Yud and Hey. 9 and 4 is right before Yud and Hey. 10 and, right? What's Hashem's name is Yud K, right? So listen what Rebbe says. Did you look? Because it says here.
No.
Okay.
When you said it, look at where it
V'test.
is.
Okay, so look here. V'test dalid. Hema otziot hakodmim l'shem Yud K. וזה מורה לעמקוס החכמה שנמצא בזה השבט, שלא יוכלו להוציא, להביא השם לפה. It means the lack of ability. The tes and the dalid means it's before Yud K. Yud K is a revealed Hashem, and Tes Dalet is I'm almost there. I'm almost able to reveal Hashem. So my Peh, the Pei Hey, is almost able to reveal the Yud K, but not quite. And they need a lot of nisyonot and experiences and life and failures and yisurim till they're able to express Hashem. But in the end, Reb Shimon Bar Shetach and Reb Shimon HaTzadik and Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, there were certain Shimons in Jewish history that were gigantic, but they each went through stuff. Shimon ben Shetach was the last of the, right? He was the brother of the brother of Helena. Who was Achav's wife? Right? Was that Shimon ben Shetach? No, that was somebody else. Somebody else's wife. Somebody who killed out all the Rabbanim, and then there was one left. Helena Malka.
It's all the same neighborhood near the Yeruya.
So it's Helena Malka, but she wasn't bad.
No,
who was she married
bad.
to? She was married to somebody bad. Her husband was the one who killed out all of the tzaddikim, and she hid her brother. With Helena Malka, she hid her brother Shimon ben Shetach, and then the Gemara talks about such an interesting story in that they needed a rabbi, and the queen said, I'll tell you, I know where one rabbi is, but you have to make sure you're not going to be mad at me. And he said, okay, I promise. And then she brings out her brother from the secret hiding place, and it was Shimon ben Shetach.
I don't know where that came from.
That's all right.
Who am I supposed to look up?
Netanyahu's Shimon ben Shetach's sister. Just write like that. Shimon ben Shetach. You have to know how to ask Google in the quickest way possible.
It's interesting that a mother would name their child Shimon, knowing what we say about
Okay,
Shimon.
so listen. So it's not a simple thing to name your child Shimon.
Right.
Same thing with Leah and Rachel,
Dina.
right? Dina, right? And people do it because if that's the name of the child, then Hashem puts into the head. One of my precious students, she's going to be watching this. She has a Shimon. Why? Because he was born in Lag Bomer. Two of them actually. Born in Lag Bomer. It's a no-brainer,
Right.
right? You couldn't get it.
Queen
Who?
Alexandra?
No, it's not Alexandra. It's somebody
the
else.
wrong shape.
Okay, that's the color green.
Shimon ben Shetach.
Hashem's. You could write
His
it.
successor was.
No. You have to write achot. You have to write that in Hebrew. Achot. Choshen ben Shetach. Okay, so that's green. That's one of the three primary colors that God colors His world. What are the three primary colors that God colors His world?
Blue.
Blue.
Red and yellow.
Yellow.
No.
No.
The majority of this world is green
Oh, green, blue.
and green,
Brown.
Exactly. Green, blue, and brown are the three primary colors that God colors the world. Right? If you look from Shemayim, that you're in the space station, you look at planet Earth, you see green, brown, and blue. So green is is being very deep, but having to see Hashem even in nature. Like Hashem is hiding in a nature. To be able to pull Hashem out of nature, that's green. That's why green is such a healing color. You can't get it? Forget it.
It says the same thing.
Alexandra.
Alexandra. And that's in Hebrew.
Really? Maybe it's the same website.
Alex.
Okay. We don't have a street called Alexandra. We have Helena Malka. We have
Shimon ben Shetach.
Salom Alexandra.
no. Who was the other Malka that we have in town? Oh, yeah.
Shalom Sion.
Shlom Sion Malka, but she wasn't Shlom. I don't know if it was. My cousin has a. She's gonna also watch this. She has a terrible ring on her phone. Forgive me, I'm telling you. It's a harsh, horrible sound on her old phone, and she put a really harsh sound on her new phone. Why? Because she wants to answer it as quickly as possible, so that take away that sound, so to motivate her to answer. As opposed to me, I have like this, like a very sweet one.
Shalom Sion.
Shlom Sion? That's Shimon Shetach's sister? I don't think so. I'll look it up soon in a minute. Forget it. Let's go back to learn. Okay, now comes Levi. Okay, so Levi. Ubareket, he shaveth Levi. Now this is what I don't understand from the color, from what he explains, and from this I don't understand it. I don't understand it. He says here Bareket is white, black, and red. Such a combination. But he says Bareket. Ki Bareket miramez al yira milashon barak. What's barak?
Which one is it?
This one. What's barak? And he says it here. What's barak? Barak is lightning. What color is lightning?
White.
White or yellow, right? White or yellow or like, it's an illuminating color, right? So bareket, he says, okay, so the way they drew it here is a little bit, not really.
No.
This would be more of that color, but whatever.
Yahalom.
Yahalom we're coming to. Yahalom is Yisachar and Zvulun is Yahalom. But bareket is barak is clarity. And he said this is the color of, this is the Merames al Yira Milashon Barak Shemegale Oro Pitzom. What happens, the Gemara, why does Hashem make lightning? To scare us, right? Not to scare us because he's like mean, but to scare us into reality. So when you have a dark, especially dark at night, if it's dark at night, and all of a sudden you have a flash of lightning. So first of all, you see the whole world. And you see the whole world at night. It's really interesting to see a black night and then a flash of lightning, because it illuminates the darkness in a way that is different than streetlights. It's like a whole different illumination. You see the world in darkness lit up. That's the idea of clarity. That's why yirah from the word ro'eh. Ro'eh means to see. It's like Reuven, but it's a certain level of clarity. That's the tribe of Levi. Levi were the ones who were the teachers and the learners. And they also, the Barak shows its light quickly. It says that Levi, we know about Levi, that they were the ones who had the biggest Yerushalayim. That's why in Mitzrayim they didn't fall for Paro's tricks, and they didn't go and enslave themselves because they had a clarity. So the color of clarity, I would say, is a color of white-yellow, the color of Barak. So here he says,
I would black be that.
I don't know, and Rav, so now I will tell you though that Rav Aryeh Kaplan also says, he says it's red, white, and black stripe, right?
Red, white,
And black stripes, so barekas. So there are two opinions that say that. From the Gemara, right? So he says from Bamidbar Rabbah. So he's saying that that it's from the Medrash. This color is from the Medrash. But he's saying this from the word barak. So let's just say that it's the color of clarity, and Yerushalayim would be yellow or white. But according to him, it's white with a little black and red. So what's black and white and red all over? A newspaper, right?
The American flag.
No, that's blue and
Oh, it's
white.
blue.
So, right? So that's interesting. That's an old joke, but it brings us to Yerushalayim, or it brings us to clarity, or it brings us to see the world. It's interesting,
unless
right?
It's fake news.
It's all fake news. I read today, this guy Yossi Gestetner, you know who he is? He's a Chassidish guy who's very, very smart in politics and in economy. And he was saying, as much as he was saying that this coronavirus, which people are saying, whatever it is, people are so panicky, and that's why the whole stock market is going down and all these crazy things are happening. So he says that it's all contrived, and that there's a reason for them trying to lower the economy of the world, and it's all these conspiracy theories.
But it doesn't really exist.
No, it exists, but it's not as bad as it. Like now, they say that there was one case in New York. So that one girl, she traveled to Iran. First of all, I thought nobody travels to Iran. So how does an American travel to Iran? Isn't there a ban on traveling to Iran? I thought there was. And then I'm really hoping it's not a Persian person. So
A senator
what?
A senator went to meet with Iranian officials,
Yeah.
and that person he met with had it, and he came back with it.
The senator came back with it? Oh, which senator
Yeah, the
was
whole
that?
article was going to affect the entire Congress. They said that.
Oh, wow.
What, they
I
didn't
didn't
put
pay
him in
attention to the name. It
lockup?
didn't sound
Which
like-
senator is that?
Do you know the name?
Yeah.
What's the name of the senator? He wasn't somebody well known, but like the fact that he's going to meet With Iran, okay, so maybe we have.
And it's interesting because Iran is getting the biggest percentage of deaths reported. Now, assume that everyone's lying.
Bigger than China?
Yeah. China's
No, it's
percentage
proportionate. It's
proportionate.
Oh.
China's proportion is 3 point something
Yeah, but
percent.
China's lying through it too.
I'm saying, so given that
Think that
everyone
Iran
is,
wouldn't be lying.
given that everyone is lying, but of what they're revealing
So maybe this topic is also lying.
is still double what China is, the percentage. So the amount of people died was less numbers, but the percentage of people died in relation to percentage of people who were afflicted is 7.5%, and China is 3% So it's double. And then again, assume the lie. Like when you make a shidduch, how old is he? 25. How old is she? 24. Really, he's 30 and she's 20, and she's 30 also, right? Like when you make a shidduch, people you have to, right? Was that the rule when you were doing shidduchim? Like 5 years.
I avoided age.
You avoided age, so that's
And
even-
money.
I
Avoid
changed the
money.
subject.
Yeah. So everybody knows. So in terms of that, so everybody's lying, which is also wonderful to know that nobody can trust anything and no one knows anything, and
That's the
It's
only way to make a
great.
shit.
That's
And hope for the best.
the only way to make this
Hashem
shit.
is Mishadeh.
Hashem is Mashadach, and yeah. That's why. Okay, I'm not going to talk about. Even though my good friend Leah is one of my closest friends, but don't talk to her about, No, I'm saying like when it comes to Shanchanin, there are certain things you have to know what to talk to them about, and what to believe, what not to believe. Okay, you have to believe everything she says, but that's it. What you say, you just don't reveal. So anyway, the bottom line is that Iran is suffering a lot. That's interesting that they're even admitting to that. So then I read that North Korea had one case and they shot him.
That's what it said.
The head of North Korea was very upset, like, how dare you? So they just killed him. So even if it's not true, it's good for a good laugh. It's good. It's very important to laugh in Adar, right? So
What did I miss? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Too bad.
somebody in North Korea was reported to have a coronavirus, so the head of Korea decided to shoot him. So he was very angry with him. Because North Korea has to be perfect, so how dare you get sick? That's also a very good way to stop spreading it. Just kill whoever has it. Just kill him quick. Don't let the doctors get near them, just...
Well, there's 5,000 quarantined Israelis.
That's what they say. I'll have to call my cousin and ask them. I
Don't believe
read
them either.
I read the thing that said that the government is in touch with all of them. I'm going to call my cousin. She'll tell me if they are. Because when they first came, they didn't call them at all. Whatever it is, my students, I told you I was supposed to fly in Alitalia, so they changed her ticket. She went straight LL.
Wow.
So and
And then
Alitalia
I'll
gave
say
back
they're
the
going
money.
to go out of business.
Yeah, LL might go out of business.
No, the government will support them, but all the travel agents are going out of business.
Listen, it's a very big patch
Serious.
to everybody's economy.
I really wonder if
It's a very big patch, unless we don't even know the beginning. This is just the beginning of it. As of now, my school is going to the Poland trip, but
3,000 got canceled. 3,000 students.
all the Israeli students got canceled. All the Israeli high school students got canceled, but the American seminaries
And
are in,
Yeshivas went. My grandson just came back yesterday.
he came back.
A week.
A week in
They let
Poland.
him go.
Right, they let them go. So it's a good
Poland
thing I'm
doesn't
not
have
head of
it
a seminary. I would not let anybody go because on the chance that what if there's one person in the hotel that you're
Or
staying at.
plane.
What on the plane?
Okay, you know what? The plane is harder. They're not quarantining people who are on planes,
Oh, just on cruise ships.
but in hotels, they are keeping them inside because you can't quarantine a person who's on a plane.
But the plane is
It's a closed-
box of germs.
Right, but they say
It's
again.
the worst.
Again, what they're saying on a plane, which again, who knows if it's true or not, is that the plane's filter system is created so that it filters out all bacteria. That's what they're saying.
Balon.
So anybody who's traveled knows that people catch colds a lot on a plane,
Sure.
and that's perhaps a virus that they're catching. I don't know. I mamish don't know how anybody could travel now, but whatever. They didn't ask me, so I'm not. I know them in the hell is going to be listening to this also. I don't take chances, but there's a lot of money involved. That's the thing. When money, what is it called? Hashochad, what does it say? Mesaveh einei tzadikim. right? What's the what I'm looking for? It blinds, ma'aver, whatever. We know shachad blinds the person. Okay, the next row is the 3 stones of Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zvulun. The Hatzur Hasheni. The Tzur Hasheni is Nofach, Sapir, and Yahalon. The Nofach is, he says it's sky blue, and the Ishbitz Rebbe says it's a mixture of colors. He calls it, Rav Kaplan calls it a carbuncle, and he calls it bluish green. Here he doesn't call it a name, but the Ishbitz Rebbe says the word Nofach means
Here's a turquoise.
Turquoise. So he says here, Nofach hu nega shevet Yehuda ki ba'evan hanofach rofefim kol hagvanim v'nichlalim bo. It's a stone that has a lot of different colors in it. A lot of different colors like weave their way in and out, like swirl their way in and out. So what does he say? Turquoise.
Turquoise.
And he says also like a blue.
So like
But he says white, blue.
Yours is greenish blue.
Greenish blue? Right, he says Rabbi here. The greenish blue is right what Rav Aryeh Kaplan says, but he says all multicolored. V'chein hu shevet Yehuda she'eino tamid b'midah achat, rak כשעומד בין צדיקים גמורים הוא צדיק גמור, וכשעומד בין בעלי תשובה הוא הגדול שבבעלי תשובה. What does this mean? כמו שמצינו בגמרא. What does it mean? It means that Yehuda, which is Mashiach, right? David HaMelech and Mashiach. Now you have to throw. According to the rule, you have to throw out your scarf now.
Okay.
Or we have to start spritzing everybody with, bless you, Gesundheit. So Yehuda, David HaMelech and Mashiach, they can find themselves completely comfortable with every type of Jew. With tzaddikim, they're tzaddikim. With balei tshuva, they're balei tshuva. It doesn't mean that they change their personality. It means that they are such a broad neshama that they could relate to everyone in that place. That means when they're with tzaddikim, they're able to sit and talk and learn. Like David HaMelech says, all day long, he says about himself that he's answering shilas. And yet he was the biggest of the balei tshuva because he himself created the ulo shel tshuva.
I vote for him.
You vote for him. We all vote for Mashiach Tzidkenu. Today, so Rav Shmuel Eliyahu sent out a message today that when you go to vote, you're supposed to say exactly what you just said. Hashem, I vote for Mashiach. I vote for Torah. I vote for Eretz Yisrael. I vote for Mashiach Tzidkenu. And Nebuch, I have to push this piece of paper into the blue envelope and put it in the thing. But really who I'm voting, and I'm going to vote for the most Torani party, the most frum party, but really who I'm voting for is I'm voting that this should be, like what Rabbi Nachman, he didn't say this part, but Rabbi Nachman says every shidduch suggestion brings the real shidduch closer, even if it's not appropriate as shidduch suggestion, but it brings the real shidduch closer. So too every vote brings the real vote closer. So that's what he said we should have. Kavana, are you going to go out to vote today, Golda?
I'm going.
You're going. כל המר שדבר חטא אינו אלא טועה, ומעשין נמי שהוא כמולה של תשובה. So the Gemara says in Gemara Shabbos, don't think that David sinned. He didn't sin the way we call it a sin. On the other hand, he was the one who did tshuva. So what does that mean? If you didn't sin, you don't do tshuva. It means he was able to relate to everybody. And you know, it's such a good mitzvah when you're with people who are Dati Le'umi, so you have to love them. Their mitzvah, their primary mitzvah is Eretz Yisrael. When you're with Yeshivish people, you have to love them because their mitzvah is Torah. When you're with Sfardim, you have to love them because their mitzvah is Amunah Pshuta. Shabbos, in my house, I have a real Sfardish shul right next door. So Shabbos Mincha, I went outside to walk, and they were just davening Mincha. It was mamash a wonderful timing. So I went in, sometimes I go into daven Mincha with him. And they have such a beautiful davening by the real old-fashioned Sfardim. You know, there's one chazan, he says every word, mila b'mila. They daven the entire davening out loud. Did you ever go? Yeah, you should go once in a while. So a real, not a modern Sephardic, Sephardic, like Eidot HaMizrach, I'm talking about. There's the chazan, he sits in his place, he doesn't go to the bima. At a certain point he does, but normally he sits in his place, and he says the whole davening out loud, word by word. Everybody says it with him. And it's just such a simple, pashut way to daven. There's no back and forth shuckling. There's no ay-ay-aying. Okay, I like that also. But it's a simple, pashut, say the words. And there's no like even emphasis on this word more. That there's no like chazanis. Okay, at a certain point maybe they do have that also. I was in Sfat, I was in a shul. We went to Sfat, I went to Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu shul. I wanted to just see what his shul is like. And after that week, he was in Sderot. He went there for Shabbos. And instead of him, they had a chazan, a Sephardic chazan. Oh, that was really a big nisayon for me, because that was Sephardic chazanim. They dreidel, and everything. But whatever it is, whoever you're with, you should be able to relate to them as a Jew.
They have a lot of Ahavas Yisrael amongst them in the Sephardic shuls.
Ahavas Yisrael, they take care of each other. It's funny though, in the Sephardic shul, in the Eidat HaMizrach shul, I wonder how the men feel about this. You know, every time someone gets on Aliyah, they sing him a song. Did you know this? They have certain songs. So if an old man gets up, they sing a song, as if to say he should have long days and long years. So I wonder at what age you get that, because the one before that, the song of the age before that is you should have nachas from your children. Like they have like little like a snippet of a melody, and they sing it with words. So I was laughing to myself, thinking women would be very insulted. Like, oh, all of a sudden you're calling me up with that old lady tune instead of the young.
Well, with the men, they could probably tell by the way.
Yeah. I'm saying I just ushnot chayim, right? They should have long days and long years, whatever it is. And also, if it's a Torah scholar, they say Yamim Melech. They sing that one. Like they sing different psukim depending on who they define you as. So, who makes that? I guess that Gabbai has a really tricky position there. Okay, so the Yehuda is a multicolored stone because the tribe of Yehuda associates with everyone, relates to everyone, loves everyone, doesn't look down on anyone, etc. Now comes Yisachar and Zvulun. So Yisachar is a sapir and Zvulun is a yahalom. Okay, so the sapir, the sapphire stone is a blue stone. He calls it a dark blue, and the yahalom is a diamond. But a sapir could also be a light blue, a clarity stone. Why is Yisachar and Zvulun sapir and yahalom? Because they have that relationship of Yisachar would learn and Zvulun would work. The yahalom is the working, and the sapir, which is the stone of clarity, color of clarity, was the learner. So let's continue and see that. Sapir hu neged sheva Yisachar, ki sapir morel chachma slula, uvureret, clear, as opposed to Shimon. Shimon's chachma was deep and needs a lot of understanding to understand. It's hard. It's kabbalistic. It's hard to understand it. Sapir Yisachar is clear halacha. They were the poskim. Clear halacha. K'mo shekazu livnat sapir. Hashem's throne, so to speak, is like livnat sapir. V'shevet Yisachar nemar yodei bina la'itim shayu yodim la'aber shanim likvam chodashim. V'zeh rak b'chochma mevuret me'et Hashem, a practical halacha. Okay, because he says that the hour is divided up into 1,080 parts, and it's a whole discussion of how Yisachar were clear-headed and practical halacha. And Zvulun, we'll just finish here. Zvulun is Yahalom. Why? Because Zvulun were the workers. But you would think that a worker gets all tied up in his work because he knows he's working in a holy way to support Yisachar, but still you get involved at work. So he says, no, Zvulun's, the greatness of the merchants of Zvulun were that Yahalom, Yahalom, Hashem is here. That's what Yahalom means. Yud K, Hashem, that remember by Shimon the Yud K was hidden, and here by Yisachar and Zvulun it's revealed. Nice. And Halom means he's right here. Okay, we did half. Be'ezrat Hashem. Now we can talk politics. Not really, we don't want to talk politics. We want to say, by the way, he calls a diamond a Tarshish, and he says it's Asher, but again, it's a different color. Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, we should hear good news.